Picture this. You're the guy everyone calls when they need help. You listen to her problems for hours. You're patient when she's emotional. You never get angry. You always put her needs first. You're supportive, understanding, considerate. You're exactly what society told you women want. You're the nice guy. And you're completely alone. Because while you were busy being kind, every woman you wanted chose someone else. Someone less patient, less understanding, less nice. And you can't figure out what you're doing wrong. What if I told you that your kindness is exactly what's killing her desire? What if I told you that being too nice, too accommodating, too emotionally available is the fastest way to become sexually invisible to women? Millions of men are living this right now. They're kind. They're respectful. They're emotionally mature. And they're watching women choose men who are none of those things. I've watched this pattern destroy more good men than I can count. Same kindness, same confusion, same loneliness. Today, I'm going to show you the brutal mechanism behind why kindness kills desire. Why being too nice guarantees you'll end up alone. And what's really happening when you prioritize her comfort over your own presence. But understand something. What you're about to learn will make you angry. This isn't a comforting message. This is the truth about why nice guys finish last. Pay very close attention. Here's the truth men refuse to accept. Kindness without boundaries reads as weakness. Accommodation without standards reads as desperation. Patience without self-respect reads as lack of options. And when a woman perceives any of those things, desire dies instantly. This isn't my opinion. I've observed this destroy thousands of relationships across every culture, every generation, every demographic you can imagine. Same pattern, same result, different faces. You see, men have been programmed to believe that kindness is the path to a woman's heart. That if you're just understanding enough, patient enough, accommodating enough, she'll fall in love with you. Society tells you, treat her like a queen. Your mother told you, just be yourself and be nice. Every romantic movie shows the nice guy eventually winning through persistence and kindness. You internalize this deeply, but here's what actually happens in reality. The nicer you are without boundaries, the less she respects you. The more you accommodate without standards, the less she desires you. And the more emotionally available you are, without reciprocity, the more she sees you as a friend, not a lover. Let me show you how this plays out. Man number one successful, kind, emotionally intelligent, meets a woman. Always available when she needs to talk. Listens to her problems for hours. Cancels his plans when she's having a bad day. Never disagrees with her. Always understanding about her flaky behavior. Buys her things. Plans elaborate dates. Within 3 months, she tells him, "You're such a good friend," and starts dating someone who treats her far worse. He's confused, devastated. He did everything right. Now man number two, similar situation, kind by nature. But when she calls emotional at midnight on a weeknight, he says, "I care about you, but I have work tomorrow. Let's talk this weekend." When she flakes on plans, he says, "That's fine, but I'm not rescheduling. See you next time you're available." When she starts drama, he says, "I'm not interested in this dynamic," and walks away calmly. She pursues him relentlessly, becomes obsessed. The difference? The first man demonstrated kindness without boundaries. The second man demonstrated self-respect that happened to include kindness. One kills desire, the other creates it. And this is why you've been suffering. Not because you're not kind enough, but because society programmed you to believe that unlimited kindness without self-respect is attractive. They taught you that accommodation equals love, that patience without boundaries equals maturity. They set you up to become the emotional support, while other men become her obsession. But here's where it gets dangerous. Most men, when they realize kindness isn't working, become even nicer. They listen even more. they accommodate even more. They become even more available. And that accelerates the death of attraction to light speed. Let me show you what's really happening. There are specific, predictable ways that kindness without boundaries destroys desire. Biological mechanisms, evolutionary programming, and modern society has conditioned you to be blind to every single one. Here's the first desire killer, being her emotional dumping ground. Every time you listen to her problems for hours, offer solutions she never takes, comfort her about the same issues repeatedly, validate feelings she should be managing herself, you're not being a good partner. You're training her brain to categorize you as her therapist, not her lover. Men were taught this is what caring looks like. Be there for her emotionally. And in a healthy dynamic, yes. But when you're available 24/7 for emotional processing, while she gives you nothing in return, when you're more invested in her emotional state than she is, you're not being supportive. You're being her unpaid therapist. And therapists don't create sexual desire. Think about it like professional roles. You don't want to have sex with your therapist. Why? Because the dynamic is wrong. One person processes, the other supports. There's no polarity, no tension, no mystery. Her attraction works the same way. When you position yourself as her emotional processor, her brain automatically removes you from the sexual category. Not consciously, but subconsciously, the categorization happens. And once you're in the friend zone neurologically, it's almost impossible to escape. I watched this happen at a coffee shop once. Woman crying to a guy for over an hour about her ex. He listened patiently, offered tissue, validated every feeling. She hugged him, thanked him, called him the best friend ever. Then her phone rang. New guy. Her entire energy shifted. Giggling, feminine, flirtatious. The guy who just listened looked destroyed. Not because he's a bad person, because he just demonstrated that he'll give unlimited emotional labor for zero return. And that is the opposite of attractive. You couldn't have known this because every message you received told you that emotional support equals love. But what it actually equals is the friend zone with extra steps. Wait until you hear what comes next. The second attraction killer. Always being available. When you drop everything the moment she reaches out, when you're always free when she wants to hang out, when you rearrange your life around her schedule, when you have no plans that take priority over her, you're not showing you care. You're advertising that you have no life, no options, and nothing more important than her attention. Here's the psychology. Availability signals value in reverse. The more available you are, the lower your perceived value. Not because women are manipulative, but because scarcity is a fundamental law of desire. Things that are always available lose value over time. Things that are sometimes available maintain mystery and value. Women are biologically wired to test this. She reaches out, watches how quickly you respond. If you reply instantly every time, if you drop everything immediately, if you're never busy with something else, her subconscious registers. He has no other options. He's waiting for me. He needs my attention to feel valuable. Attraction decreases every single time. A woman texts a guy at 9 p.m. on a Friday. Hey, what are you up to? Weak response. Immediate reply. Nothing much, just at home. Want to hang out? Result. She knows he's alone on Friday night waiting for her. Value drops. Strong response. Response 2 hours later. Just got back from drinks with friends. What's up? Result. He has a life. He's social. He's not sitting around waiting. Value maintains or increases. The first man thinks fast replies show he cares. He's actually showing he has nothing better to do. The second man shows he has a full life that she can be part of but not the center of. Nobody told you that eagerness registers as desperation, that instant availability signals lack of options. But here's the sick part. You know what really gets me about this? Society doesn't just teach you to be overly available. It romanticizes it. Drop everything for her. Always be there when she needs you. Real love means prioritizing her above all else. They sell you on the fantasy that sacrifice equals love. But what sacrifice actually equals is killing any chance of desire. You see her reaching out. You feel that pull to respond immediately. But every fiber of your programming says this is what good men do. So you drop everything, cancel plans, rearrange schedules, put your life on hold. And every time you do, her attraction decreases slightly. Until one day, she tells you she just doesn't feel that way about you, and you can't understand why. After all, you are always there. And then they have the nerve to say, she doesn't appreciate what she has. No, she appreciated having an emotional support system. She just never desired it sexually, because you trained her not to. But that's not all. The third desire killer. Never creating any friction or demanding reciprocity. You agree with everything. You avoid all conflict. You let her bad behavior slide. You give without receiving. You help her move, fix things, pay for dates, provide emotional labor, and she does what exactly? She accepts, she takes. And you tell yourself that's enough, because you're just being nice. Modern society has convinced men that conflict is toxic, and giving without return is noble. But here's what's really happening. Every time she does something disrespectful, and you say nothing, her brain registers, he'll accept anything from me. He has no standards. Every unreciprocated act of service trains her to see you as a resource, not a romantic prospect. I remember watching this exact dynamic in the court of Cleopatra in ancient Egypt. The advisors who always agreed, who never challenged her, who gave without receiving, they were useful but never respected. The ones who would respectfully disagree, who maintained their own perspective, those commanded respect and influence. Technology changes. Human psychology? Identical across millennia. Anyway, she flakes on plans last minute. Weak response. No worries. We can reschedule whenever. Strong response. I'd made plans around this. I'm disappointed. Let me know if you want to make concrete plans in the future. She treats you disrespectfully. Weak response. Acceptance or apology. Strong response. That's not how I allow people to speak to me. Let me know when you're ready to have a respectful conversation. She needs help moving. You show up. Help for 6 hours. She orders pizza. Says thanks. Doesn't offer to help you with anything. Ever. Weak response. Acceptance. Strong response. I can help Saturday morning from 9 to 1. After that, I have plans. And I'll take you up on helping me paint my apartment next weekend. The first response in each scenario shows zero boundaries and expects nothing. The second establishes standards and reciprocity. One kills desire, the other maintains it. Nobody told you that friction creates polarity. That challenge creates intrigue. That demanding reciprocity establishes respect. Here comes something that will make you furious. The system wants you this way. They want you kind without boundaries, available without standards, giving without reciprocity. Why? Because that creates the perfect emotional support system for women while removing you from romantic competition. They feed poison wrapped in virtue. Be the nice guy. Women love kind men. Just be there for her. Meanwhile, she's sleeping with men who don't do any of that. And you're wondering what's wrong with you. Nothing is wrong with you. You're playing a rigged game with rules designed to make you lose. Society profits from your confusion. Dating coaches sell you courses on how to be nicer. Therapists tell you to work on your emotional availability. Self-help books teach you communication skills that make you even more accommodating. And none of it works. Because the problem isn't that you're not kind enough. The problem is you're kind without any edge, without any standards, without any self-preservation. They don't want you to know that kindness without boundaries kills desire. Because if you understood that, you'd stop being the emotional support system. You'd start having standards. You'd create friction. You'd maintain scarcity. You'd demand reciprocity. And that would break their entire system. But once you see this mechanism clearly, everything changes. Your loneliness wasn't because you weren't kind enough. It's because you were kind without self-respect. Because you confused accommodation with attraction. Because society programmed you to believe that sacrifice without boundaries would make women desire you, when it actually guaranteed they'd see you as a resource, not a romantic option. Think about this. Every woman who told you, "You're such a good friend," was she dating men kinder than you or less kind? Every rejection where she said, "It's not you, it's me," was she dating men who did more for her or less? The answer is obvious. The kindest men end up alone while watching women choose men who provide a fraction of the emotional support. This isn't because women don't value kindness. It's because kindness without self-respect reads as weakness. And weakness doesn't create desire. Let me make this crystal clear. Kindness is good, but kindness without boundaries is weakness. Being there for her is positive, but being available 24/7 with no life of your own is desperation. Generosity is attractive, but giving without reciprocity is self-abandonment. The men who understand this create attraction that lasts. The men who confuse accommodation with love end up confused, alone, and wondering why being a good person isn't enough. So what do? First, understand that kindness must come with boundaries. Be generous with your time, but not available 24/7. Help when asked, but expect reciprocity. Listen to problems, but not for hours without return. Your kindness should be selective, not universal. Then, create friction when necessary. Disagree when you disagree. Call out bad behavior. Maintain your standards. Don't avoid conflict to keep peace. Challenge her respectfully. Have opinions. And finally, maintain scarcity and reciprocity. Have a life that takes priority sometimes. Have plans that she can't interrupt. Expect her to invest to match yours. If she's not reciprocating, stop giving. Your time has value. Treat it accordingly. Here's the uncomfortable truth. You cannot create desire through unlimited kindness. You cannot build attraction through constant accommodation. If you continue being nice without boundaries, because society said that makes you a good man, you will continue ending up alone, watching women choose men who treat them far worse. This is what I've observed across thousands of years. The men who balance kindness with self-respect, availability with boundaries, generosity with reciprocity, they create genuine attraction. The men who believe unlimited niceness is the path to love watch desire die, while wondering why being good isn't enough. The choice is yours. Continue believing that kindness without standards will eventually be rewarded. Or accept these truths and become a man who can be kind without sacrificing himself in the process. I'll be watching.